Hey, what's going on, guys? Mikkel here, back at another podcast. We are in the studio for the first time ever. We don't have a co-host because we're going to talk about it. So, topics of today is creating a podcast in 2024 has become so expensive. Let's do the financial breakdown of how much it truly costs to start a podcast, a good podcast, in my opinion, in 2024. So just going down my Amazon cart of things, I'm going to place the cart right here. Let's do a screen recording. All right, so just going down the cart, we see beds. That stuff is like for another business I have going on, but we're consistent with the podcasting right now. So if we're just scrolling down, boom, we get down to the nitty gritty, right? So an auxiliary cord. Auxiliary cord, what is that for? That's pretty much going to be for when you're plugging into the microphone and you got to plug into like some type of base. There's a base that you need to plug your mic into in order to have that connection, right? So you're going to need that auxiliary cord. And then we get down to a table. So like, you see how this is like kind of like connected to the phone all in one system? Like, I'll just go over my current system. I have my cell phone. This is actually a selfie lamp ring light attached to a, like, just any kind of tripod. You can get this from any general store. And then we're recording on on a free podcasting app. And that's the system right now. And it's attached to this table. So you're probably going to want like a little small round table. That's what I have here. This little high table, and you can like connect your microphones because you need the microphone poles. So like these poles, granted, my brother got this from, I don't know where he got this from, but it was a gift to him, and it's for a selfie light. So you could probably find a nice selfie light pole and replace that, and then boom, you have yourself a nice mic without having to break the bank. So like they probably go about for $50 though, $56. To like $30 is the going rate for a pole. So maybe I'll even do like a little price where we're at right now. So $16 for the cord, $39 for the little table, and then we're at $56 for the boom stand. So we're just gonna keep totaling up, All right, now we get to lights. So lights are gonna probably cost us about $150, which is insanity for a light. And like the craziest thing is I just broke my light. I didn't break it, but like it just stopped working. My typical light I use for my podcast just stopped working. Now granted, I have the light on the roof, but you kind of want to invest in your lighting. If you have good lighting, your videos look good, people will take notice and they'll want to click on your videos. You know what I'm saying? So good lighting is actually major. Even this pole didn't come with this little pop filter, like pop, 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 pop. And like the pop filter is pretty much for like just making sure they can really hear me without hearing the spit. And then we're here at this little, so like on the light, it's supposed to be like some type of like white thingy. And I forget that it's right here beside us, but yeah, so like there's this white thingy, right? And with that, it's pretty much just gonna make it softer on the eyes, but it lights up the whole room. Same thing with this. This light costs $175. Jesus. So yeah, you got these two lights, and then I think there's like another light down here. This one costs about $150, and then these cost about $55. So I'd probably, if it was me, I'd get one of these $150 lights. So we could probably add $150. And then I'll probably get these $51 lights, and then I'll just add that. And then you want one point light, like one focal point light, and then two lights on the side. And that's, your lighting setup. So we got those off the list. Now a camera. I'm actually recording on this camera, Sony ZV-1. So that's $698. You see how expensive this is? Now, granted, I have that camera currently speaking, so like we're good on the camera, but like that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're already $700 in. And that's why I made this podcast today, because we're already $700 in. We need to make podcasts, because if not, then all this was a waste of money. What was all this for? You know what I'm saying? So, even this phone is like $1,000. Like, come on now. And then this is like some type of, let's see. What is this? I think you can use this to like angle your camera or like different things like microphones. So kind of thing, like same thing. Yeah, it's like an adjustable magic arm. I don't even know. You could probably clamp like extra things to it. Are they going to make us go through all this again? All right. Yikes. Okay, here we go. So now we get down to the nitty gritty. So like your surroundings, right? So with the surroundings or whatever, if you want to do decor, like in here we have like paintings on the wall, but like for this episode, I didn't really angle the camera where the paintings were, because I was like, I'm gonna just do a bare background, keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it plain. I wasn't even gonna be on camera, but I got a haircut, so I was like, you know what? I got a haircut. I'll come on camera for you guys. But keep it simple, keep it plain, keep it clean. So, what you call it? See right here, these little bamboo pieces. I saw this in like somebody else's podcast, and I thought it looked nice. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do something like that for my podcast one day. I don't know, but it costs about $200. So you can probably add that to the total, $200 for that. And you're probably gonna want little sound blocks. So for 52 pieces, that's a lot. 52 pieces of sound blocks for $39. That's actually a really good deal. So yeah, you're probably going to want some of those as well. So I'd probably order, if it was me, I'd order 3 of those. So just boom, boom, boom. Add 3 of that to the top. And then for our microphone, this mic is the best mic on the market. Now, granted, I'm doing a video of this mic right now, and there's only 16 left, and if I don't buy one, then my podcast will never take off the ground. I've been doing my best with this phone, though. This phone has been getting me through tough times, the good, the bad, the nitty, the gritty, but it would be very nice to have this mic. This mic is an amazing mic. The Shure, you see it, okay? It's a great mic, but granted, if you're not consistent, don't waste your money. Just get the phone with the podcast app. This was free. This was gifted. This was like maybe $18. The most expensive thing right here is what we're recording off of, which is the camera. So yeah. But yeah, you can add $600 to that. So $600 for the mic. It was actually $300 last time I checked these mics. And I feel like the price went up because everybody and their mother is starting a podcast. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's how much that's going to cost you. And then we get down to, this is kind of like the many necessities. I won't add that to the total, but you might want like a microphone stand if you don't want to attach your microphone to like a table. You know what I mean? So a microphone stand could work. And then we get to the K&F concept. I think that's like a lens. Yeah, it is a lens filter. So like with this lens filter, I guess you can change the scenery. Like let me just change the scenery. Now it's moody in here. Now we're back, right? So that's cool. And then this kind of made me sad. So for years I watched podcasts and I'm like, all right, where's this? Who makes this? All right, so the podcast I like to watch is Anything Goes Emma Chamberlain, right? And it's a great podcast, and I used to always wonder what she recorded with. Through my digging, I found out she records with one of these, and they're actually not that expensive. Just $188 with that drop in the bucket, right? Cool. So that's how much it costs. This is what it looks like. And you can record from like 4 different angles. I think like 6 angles, honestly. So you could have 6 people on one podcast, and all the audios are being pumped into this one machine. And I think like you have the headphones, because you ever see those people like what's the setup? The auxiliary cord goes into this, and the headphones are attached to the microphone, and that's the setup. So like when you see Joe Rogan, for example, or any other podcaster that uses headphones while they do their podcast, that's the setup. And I guess they do it that way so that this thing pumps out. So it's like it kind of makes a simulated room, right? So like, if that makes sense to you guys, like we're all in the same ear, like kind of like if you did like a 4-way phone call, this is the middleman, this is the phone in that example. So this is how everybody can hear everybody without it being too chaotic. And yeah, so that's 180. So you just throw that up there, and that's how much it costs to start a podcast. I have no clue what this number is until I finish editing, but let's talk about that. That is expensive. That is so expensive. Like literally, you see what we're on right now. Nowhere near that price. Nowhere near that price. Not paying that. Now, granted, if I had like, I don't know, unlimited budget, then I'd probably invest in all that stuff. Would it change the quality of the podcast? Probably not. I would say at most, I could have better interviewee podcasts, right? So like you see right here, right? This chair would have another person in it, and they would be sitting here, and then they would have their mic, and I had my mic, and like I'd probably be like a little bit over to the side right here, and I'll move back for like just angling purposes. But yeah, I'd be over to the side like that, and like we'd have this camera going like a wide shot, and then I'd have another camera to the side so like it could zoom in real close, and then when they're talking they have their camera, and then when I'm talking probably go back to the wide shot, and then it keeps you guys' attention because everybody has ADHD brain, right? So you gotta have those quick cuts, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving away all the secrets. So yeah, you gotta have the quick cuts, and you're probably gonna need a tripod. Tripod probably costs upwards like $50. It's just good to have one, because you got to hold your camera up on something. So you can add $50 to that. And this is the accurate amount of money it costs to start. And I don't even know if I'm going to make sure, editing, Mikkel, this is me talking to you. Make sure you put the doubles of everything, because you need 2 mics, 2 stands. Yeah. So at least the software to upload is free. The software I use is and that's the software that I use, so at least that's free, you know what I mean? So it's not too expensive. If you want to help me buy this stuff, this is my Cash App. Please don't hack my Cash App. Okay, so if anybody wants to donate to that, you have that now. But yeah, until then, this setup works, right? Now, granted, I don't know what it's going to sound like after I post this, because this is a new studio. We're actually in a new environment. This is a new studio. I have to periodically make sure that you're recording because the screen is flipped. So yeah, so periodically check in with your phone, make sure you're still recording, because that would be embarrassing. But you're in a new studio, undisclosed location, of course, but still Unfiltered Mikkel. For all the Spotify listeners or whatever, I would probably suggest to just watch this on the YouTube channel, just so you can see all the numbers that we just went over just now. But besides that, how have I been, or like my thoughts on like starting a podcast in 2024, I'll probably put that in a future podcast. But this was just a little quick me podcast, because like I can really shoot these things off really fast, just to like let you guys know I'm still alive, haven't died, still alive. More podcasts on the way. Go check out my Spotify at Unfiltered Mikkel if you're watching from YouTube, and if you're watching from Spotify, go watch on YouTube at Mikkel's Podcast. I'm going to put both right here. Maybe I'll stack it. I don't know. I'm always giving editing Mikkel a lot of homework. That's my problem. That's why these videos never come out. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button down below. Sorry, Spotify listeners are like, what is going on? If you're on Spotify, just leave a 5-star rating. And Apple Podcasts, Thanks for just being in the room. I don't even put too much energy into Apple Podcasts because it's the same platform. You know, if you upload to Spotify, it just floats over to Apple Podcasts. But you would only know that if you had my software, you know, that I use to post. Like, if I just gave you, you would be set. But I gotta keep something, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. Future podcasts. Maybe I'll put the 2 podcasts right here.